Hi, I'm Niall from Wheel Decals, based here in Brisbane. I'm just going to go through how I install decals, graphics, stickers, whatever you want to call them. Hopefully give you a few tips on how to do it yourself and be happy with the end result. Here I'm going to show you installing the numbers and backgrounds on the screen of this Yamaha R6. This is actually going to be a really tricky one because I've got this extra bubble, let's call it. But the way to start on any of the front number plates that are going to be central, I always strip down the center. So the best way to do that is kind of, tear two pieces out and kind of work them off each other. I'm just going to show you. So we've got the first part and now we've got the second. So we'll tear a bit of second and then the first, second, second. There you go. So we've kind of got, it's probably thicker than I would like, but anyway, it's still a lot better than having all of the backing paper off because that's going to be hard work. So obviously the screen is bolted onto the fairings and we're going to come up against that later, but whenever possible, I do like to install the decals on the bike because they're fixed in position. If I had this off, it would be sliding around on the desk. So what we'll do is we'll get it installed down to about here and then we'll remove the nuts and bolts and we'll finish it off. So we'll get started. The other thing is what you mentioned before, I'm focused straight on the front. I'll probably just take a knee. We've got this this point here is a good reference to get central. So that's the first part to just sort of touch in place. Now I'm going to stand up and I'm just holding it at each corner and I'm going to do my best to guide it and see if it's even on each side. That is good. It's definitely probably within 1 or 2 mil, which I am generally satisfied with. So now the fun begins. So sometimes whenever I'm installing these, I will not work the decal into the sort of ridges or contours or angles, because it's immediately going to want to bunch up somewhere, and you're going to sort of be fighting with it from the start almost. So there's more than one way to install. So sometimes if it takes one direction, I'm kind of happy to roll with it and just work with it as it comes. The heat gun in this particular screen is definitely necessary. There will be so many creases on this if I went and did it without the heat gun. Again, I try to do what I can without using heat, but really starting it from this early stage is going to work in my favor. So you can probably see quite a few creases there. So a lot of them have disappeared. Notice whenever I went and set down the heat gun, like I'm holding this, I don't really want to move this because if I move it, I'm going to stretch the vinyl. And although the vinyl can stretch, if I do that, yeah, I might fit it without any creases, but the design is going to be distorted and end result, that's not what you want. So we've put a bit of heat into it, it's softened up a bit. Some of the creases have disappeared. So we'll take advantage of that and see how much we can get down in this period. So see a little bubble, I don't really want it. So I'm happy to persevere. Again, you put in the time and effort to get the best result possible. You're going to be happy because you're going to be looking at the bike every time you go in the garage or you're at the track. Don't really want to try and lift it whenever there is much heat in the vinyl because that there is just going to let it stretch because it's going to want to stay stuck to the screen. Squeegee would be quite good in this instance, but I've only got two hands and I'm using one of them to hold it up from laying flat before I want it to, and then the other to work the vinyl down. Whenever you can, use the squeegee. It's definitely nice. All right, so we've kind of reached the point of as far as we want to go. All right, so there's a couple of small air bubbles there. You could put the tip of the pen into them just to create a little hole, and that there should get the air out. Might disappear over time with the air release, or if that is how they're going to stay, it's sort of not the end of the world, because it is a very tricky piece. So to get it down to that quality, it is quite good. Sometimes, well, you'll see in this one, this side has gone a lot better than the other one, a lot smoother. That's maybe the time I used heat for the first time, but it happens to me frequently. One side goes on easy and the other side I'm just really having to work hard with it. And you just want to check again. It's one thing getting it on. Making sure it's symmetrical is the next, well, it's not even the next thing, it's the thing you want from the start. And if I go and check, I can see I've sort of got two reference points. I'm probably about 2 mil further down on this right hand side. But for me, I feel like that is acceptable. So now you can see we've got it on, we just have to finish it off. So it's quite a bit of build up both sides, so I'm just going to use a bit of heat, soften it. Whenever it's creased like that, I don't really want to take the squeegee to it. It's almost, it's better just maybe use the tip of your thumb and get an idea. So you could fold this here over the edge, or it's also the area where you can run the knife along, which I will go through. So I'll probably just hold it straight out, try and get right on the edge, and I'll start in a bit. I'll just try and glide down through it. So you can see there it's got a nice clean edge. Now for the bolt holes, the way I like to do it, it's with this like a scalpel blade. I think it's maybe like 30-degree blade. It really it gets in a little deeper than the standard knife that I have. So I'm inside and I'm just cutting around the edge. Bearing in mind that my bike is it's a track bike, you know, so it's got a little bit of wear and tear. You know, if you're trying to do something like this here to your road bike, you probably wouldn't want to put a knife anywhere near it. And you can do that there for the other parts of the fairings where there might be a hole for a quick release fastener or something like that. Just use the likes of this blade and just inside the hole and just clean it out, and it just leaves it clean and tidy. So now I'm going to do the same to this side. Use the heat gun, get this flattened down, trim the excess, cut the holes out and get it back onto the bike. And then just one last tip. So now whenever I go to fit that on and bolt it back together, if I can hold this one in position and get the spanner or the socket behind and use it to tighten it, then that there's not turning and twisting the vinyl, which it'll get to some stage where the vinyl will want to twist as well. So if you can just hold that in the same position, it's going to look much tidier in the end. So, yep. So a couple of small little bubbles, but you can just do things like small pinprick if needed, and just get them out. But overall, that's a good looking number plate.